You're running full speed, but the markets are faster. Quasar Markets Live brings the world's top financial minds to you. Everything you need to know in one place. Learn from elite educators and gain a competitive edge, leveling the playing field for you. Join the conversation. Quasar Markets Live.
Good afternoon, everybody. Look, we've all been talking about, I got the man himself, Peter Thomas, Mr. Goldbug himself, has been around. I'm not going to say how long, Peter. You know the metals markets. You lived it, breathed it, and it's really what you know. And you're heard from CNBC, Bloomberg. You're well sought out, and I appreciate you being here on Quasar Markets Live. And let's get right to it. You told me if 3,300 held on gold, that's a buy opportunity, and we're at 3,350 right now. Look at you. You were dead spot on.
Well, it's good to be lucky occasionally. But the market to me looked like it was putting in a base. It was moving sideways for a while. Every dip was actively purchased. You could see the open interest picking up. It was a very interesting break in that it was converse to a lot of breaks. We usually see people selling on breaks. This past 2 or 3 dips, as we'll call them, were actively purchased. So that's why I took that stance, Steve.
When I look at the metals market in general, and I just talked to Jim Iorio a few minutes ago about it too, and he said one thing that he noticed was that when you are a big firm, you're an institution, you are a country, you are a big buyer of metals, you don't really care what the price is. If you're told to go buy something, they go buy it, right?
That's a very interesting position, and it takes you a while as a trader because you're always looking for an edge when you're a trader. But when you're an institution and you come in, you get a call and they go, "Pete, buy me, 2 tons of silver." Okay, where? Buy me 2 tons of silver. Okay, we want it in bag shot, and we want it for making jewelry, and we also want it for extruded wire. Okay, fine. I'll have it for you to be ready for pickup in Peru. Okay, great. It's a different attitude, and you're 100% right. That's they just don't care what the price is. They want the product.
Yeah, and one of the things we talk about, the silver 38.23 here. Are they still buying silver? Are you seeing? Is it just the? And I think a lot of people have talked about this a little bit. It's the retail buying of silver, saying that there's a big silver crunch. So the FOMO has been hitting there. Is this over yet, or is this silver thing still going higher?
Well, let's look at the broader picture, Steve. And the broader picture is this: we're in our 5th year of deficit. In other words, demand has outstripped production for 5 consecutive years. The question is, are we at these levels because of this impact, or are we at this level due to consumption? I think when silver, as we talked a couple of years ago, silver has shifted from more jewelry usage to industrial usage, EVs, computers, phones. The demand for these products has not decreased. So silver has had its fundamental basis get stronger, and subsequently we keep rallying. There's a couple other things, a couple other caveats I'll add to this, which I don't think are in the public domain right now as well.
Yeah, and when you say that silver has more demand like EVs and silver has, is there something out there that we should be paying attention to that we're not paying attention to? Meaning that we know that silver goes in the jewelry, and that's just a big deal. Mexico is one of the biggest producers of silver jewelry,
That's
right?
right. Mm-hmm.
And Latin America. But is there something in the silver market that we're not seeing, that maybe retail is seeing, or AI is picking up and saying, "Hey, look."
Now you hit it. When the President of the United States announces that we have $50+ billion coming in for the creation of an AI factory and chip manufacturing. That's silver going into those servers. Remember, it is a conductive material. That silver has to come from somewhere. Where's it going to be? We haven't opened a mine in 4 years. So, where's the metal going to come from? So, being in a deficit now, we're going to be in a bigger deficit as these plants start to upgrade. We could be in a 7 or 8 year deficit for silver, which will keep it up at these levels.
Yeah, good point. And when I heard the other day on FOMO again, and you see it every once in a while, there's no more silver. We don't have a silver crunch, and that's why we're going higher. And I'm like, that's nuts. And we should buy all the silver paper. It doesn't make sense to me, right? And normally, Peter, I've learned a long time ago, I've been in this game a long time, like yourself, that when things don't make sense, things just don't make sense, that the prices don't match, right? But you've been in the game. You understand the buyers. You understand the sellers right now. What are the sellers thinking? The buyers are thinking, I want to own.
Yes.
I have to buy it for EV. I got to buy it for nuclear. I got to buy it for AI. I got to buy it for quantum computing. But what are the sellers thinking? I mean, those of us, I bought it from you. It's good, by the way. It's a good reminder. Listen, if you want to buy metals, buy it from Peter Thomas here. AU Secure. You can get it right through the system here. But what are the sellers thinking right now? I mean, I know I don't want to sell my silver. I'm in a 19.
Well, it's interesting in that this is what has happened. When gold took out 2,500, people said, "Jesus, this is too expensive." And I would say to them, "Look, accumulate some $20 silver. If gold is going to stay at these ratios, remember we track the gold silver ratio. If silver is going to be way down here at these levels, why not pick up some silver and hang on to it?" Now, what has happened as gold has continued and silver has continued to rise, I'm getting people calling in going, "I bought it from you at 19, 20, 23. I'm up, 60, 70, 80%, and it's in my pension. It's in my IRA. Should I take some profit?" I go, "Look, that's completely up to you. Let's talk about how much do you have? What are you looking to put into your pension? How old are you?" I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, but we're seeing maybe 20 or 30% of the silver coming to us, Steve, is profit taking, to answer you directly.
All right, so I guess I'm in the minority where I don't want to sell my silver. I don't want to give them any of my silver, right?
Well, you're not in the minority. You're just not in the position or at the age to where you want to start to realize that. That's all.
Yeah. And so you talked about the gold silver ratio again today,
Sure.
but you've been talking about it for as long as I've known you, and you've
Yeah.
been spot on, pun intended. Over 100 on the gold silver ratio is where you're what and under what and when you're buying.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, at 107 was where I came out with a big buy silver, sell gold, and the spread snapped for almost 27 points. It took a little while, but when it did, it was very rewarding. I think what people need to understand is a market is like a rubber band, and it will only stretch so far, and then it'll snap back. And at that point, the reality of the market came into effect, and the demand came into effect, and that's what happened, Steve.
So I'm looking at gold silver ratio now. I've drew some lines on there, the bottoms there, and then the tops, and we've got our little diamond cross now, and
Yeah.
we've slipped below the 90 handle, which is where you said you would be a buyer again. What are you buying here now? Are you buying the gold side, or are you buying the silver side here?
I have been accumulating. I'm following. Well, you know what? Let me make an announcement on the show, because I know our viewers love. The rumors coming out of Russia are that the Russian vaults, the central bank vaults, this morning started to accumulate silver. First time. We have not seen it. I think I'll break it here. I think there's probably, if I know about it, there's probably a few other mentions out there. But a friend of mine called me this morning and was kind of surprised because we haven't seen Putin come in heavily into the silver, but I guess they were doing some pretty good sized numbers this morning. So I thought I'd break it here.
I appreciate that, especially for who you are. You break things on Bloomberg all the time
Right.
and CNBC. I have to ask. I saw the headlines earlier that Putin, Xi Jinping, and Trump are looking to meet in China in September. Is this, Putin has talked about the nuclear. He's been, I hate to even bring that word up. He has been kind of pushing that narrative. Xi Jinping is worried about trade. Ukraine, he's still pissed off. Trump is now telling Ukraine that we're going to send you more weapons. Putin's pissed off about the weapons. Is it possibly Estonia? Shall I go on? Shall I go on? Shall I go on? The world just seems to be in a nutshell is not good right now. So is that why they're stockpiling?
Well, I believe what's happening is we're seeing some emphasis, let's call it, from the BRICS agreement. I think that what's going to happen is that gold has gotten so expensive that a lot of the stockpiling to do the gold-backed currency, I believe they will come in and use silver as well because it gives them a little more bang for their currency.
And I wish I could have bought the Russian ruble back when it crashed. We were, as Americans, were not allowed. We weren't allowed to. I would have done
I
anything.
know it was trading at a nickel when they
Right.
had the big break, and you could have filled up the truck, and then it ran. Its first real top was at 17 cents. That wasn't a monstrous trade. You're 100% right.
Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't be able to do it. All
No.
right. So when I see people looking at metals
Hmm.
for the first time,
Right.
what is the question that they ask you, Peter, when they go to you? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to buy metals. I'm listening to you on Big Beat Show and Quasar Markets. What do I need to know? What do I need to do? I'm a first-time buyer. I've never bought
Right.
this stuff. What do I do, Peter? What do you tell them?
The first thing I see how much and how much they're going to buy and how much that is going to affect their lifestyle. If somebody comes into me and says, I'm taking everything I got out of the stock market, the whole world's coming to an end, and I want to buy gold, I tell them to pump the brakes. I don't like to see people step in initially with over 20%, Steve. That's usually the big question. How much should I come in with initially? Then the second thing, of course, is what should I be buying? A bullion bar or coin? Then I look at the value, which has the best premium for the time that they're looking to step in, and then we go from there. So then we sit and break down what they want to do, how long they want to hold it, and I usually will break down a portfolio into gold, silver, platinum, palladium. So we have a mix and we have the opportunity for more growth.
And why do you have a mix? I mean, I have platinum myself and some
Right.
palladium. Of course, I have silver and gold, but
Sure.
why platinum and palladium?
Well, as you know, platinum and palladium reduce NO2 from going into the environment from engines. So we saw really in the last couple of years a slowdown of demand because they were pushing EV cars. Now that we're creating and using more cars in America, the demand for platinum palladium is going to go up. And if you remember, we were accumulating in the $800 area. Now that we're at $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, that diversification within people's portfolio has paid off handsomely.
Yeah, and I was also asked about one more, and I don't know if it's down in your wheelhouse, but copper as well. Was asked quite heavily about copper all day and yesterday, especially with the housing numbers.
Sure.
Are you seeing any copper movements here?
Oh, I think myself and others have been accumulating copper positions. on good breaks. They haven't even created a permit yet in California since the fires, and the entire infrastructure burned away and melted. I mean, all of that runs on copper. All of these new projects that the president is bringing on shore here all need copper. Demand is going to be at record highs, and I think that copper is a good buy on dips. I'm not going to get into prices here, but I think you're 100%. I think you have to be friendly.
Yeah, and I'm going to give everybody here how to reach you. You can also do it through our website too, as well, and our platform. But it's ausecure.com. I'm going to put this up here for everybody.
You know what? Send them right into my website, which is ausecure.com/Pete, and that'll go right in, and I discuss portfolio creation in there. That'll probably give them a little more insight.
Yeah, I love that, and I will put this up here. Yeah, get that for you. ausecure.com/Pete. That'll help you get right to Peter himself. I mean, Mr. Hunt Brothers himself. I always have to ask you, I know you've heard about it for over 40 years, 50 years now, Pete. Give me another story, floor story that we haven't heard yet, my man.
Oh, I tell you what, I got a gazillion of them, but at the moment, nothing's coming to mind. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank for you, Steve.
I love it. I love it. All right, Pete Thomas, Mr. Goldbug himself. Pete, thanks for always being on Quasar Markets Live. We'll see you next week. I think next week I want to talk about one thing, and the next version of this is as somebody who's accumulating gold and silver. What's the exit strategy for many people?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, Pete. We'll see you next week, my man.
Thank you for having me, Steve. Take care now.